What is unique is what we saw the Miami Dolphins do on Sunday to the Denver Broncos. I got to tell you, I don't know if I can think of any other game in my life, Chase, where I saw a team put up 20 and still lose by 50. By 50, okay? They scored. I mean, I've seen 63-7. I've seen 62 to whatever, but you score 20 points and you still lose by 50. And oh, by the way, it was 70-20 with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They could have put up any number of points they wanted. And we don't need to get into whether they should have gone for the record or not. I don't care. I thought Mike McDaniel was being classy in that situation. But we have to acknowledge how good Miami is right now because they did this without Jalen Waddle. Okay, they scored 70 without arguably their second best offensive player. Hill was there. Obviously, Devin Achan, the rookie now wants to be called Achan, is what he said, out of Texas A&M, has been phenomenal. But how good can Miami be? Because they're on a pace right now. They have more yards through the first 3 games than any other team in NFL history, and they have the second most points through 3 games than any other team in NFL history. How good can they be?
Well, I mean, you saw it on Sunday. I mean, I'm watching the game, and Denver actually got it to 21-7 after it was 21. And I was like, oh, okay, they might have a chance. And it was one of those days where, as an offensive play caller, as an entire offense, like, you can't lose. I mean, they put their backups in after the first drive in the third quarter. That is unheard of. And Denver didn't do anything to like stop it. Like, they almost like laid down. That was what was more interesting to me, because this is about pride. This is about, how you feel. This is like, hey, can we get a couple drives together to just make ourselves feel better about ourselves? And to Sean Payton's credit, like, he left Russell in there. I would have taken him out, put the other guy in, and because you're worried about injuries. But the story for sure is Mike McDaniel, Frank Smith, Tua. I mean, Tua right now is the reason, obviously, that this offense is working the way it's working. Obviously, they have all the weapons, but a lot that's not talked about is the run game. And the run game is so interesting, because I saw a stat that on 75% of their plays against the Broncos, they either shifted or motioned a guy, which is that's an absurd amount of like pre-snap motion or shifts. And it's just all it is. Like, when we were on offense and when we were rolling with some of the Saints teams, I think a couple 2011 teams that 2011 Saints team I was on was like one of the best, like top 5 total amount of yards, stuff like that. We were pre-snap shifting, motioning, and that was Sean Payton's way of like blitzing a defense. Like, you can't really do anything on offense unless you're in different personnel groupings and you're moving nonstop and you're making the defense react. And that's exactly what is happening. But it comes down to the speed. Okay, the speed of everything happening is so fast. Tua's time to throw in that game was 2.16 seconds. 2.1. He is not holding the ball at all. I mean, that is a very short time. So he knows where he's going. Rarely does he get off his first read because it's always open. And he's just so good in that offense, and they've taught him so well within that offense. And then marry it with the run game. They're like the most yards in NFL history in a single game. I think they were over 300 obviously, rushing and passing. I mean, all of it's working right now. Yeah, it's absurd. Like, all of it's working right now. And I mean, I just want to know who's going to end up being the team to stop them, because everything they've done, the Chargers came up, played press man, got torched, threw for over 420 yards. This Denver game, I just watched too. I picked out 20 plays, good, bad, and different. All like, there was like 18 amazing plays on there that I watched. And it's just, the Broncos are sitting in too high, quarters to one side, halves to the other. And I mean, the half-field safety's off the screen half the time. So there's a lot of space in there, and that's what you saw is like, hey, once these guys, especially like, Tyreek, and we're not even talking Waddle, once they get the ball in space, like, it's yak.
See ya.
It's yak.
Well, I mean, that first touchdown, I don't know how Denver decided to leave Tyreek Hill as the wide open wide receiver in that, that defense.
Yeah,
you know?
I actually I just saw that one, and I'll tell you how it is, because it was actually, and maybe we can show this on screen right here. It's double post and it's 7-step glance routes. Okay, so off their 7-step, these receivers, it's Robbie Chosen. I think he's changed his name like 15 times. Robbie Chosen,
Robbie Anderson Chosen.
Whatever you want to call it, and Tyreek, and Tua's actually looking at Robbie on the right side of the screen, and they're running double post, and Tua should just get down to his check down. Well, they're playing quarters to Robbie's side, so the quarter safety hits him, and Tyreek just continues to run, even though this is not his route, and there's a half-field safety way over here off the screen. I pause it, you can't even see him, and he's just so open, like Tua just stays with him, throws it to him, and I pause it. There wasn't a guy within 15 yards of Tyreek on that first touchdown, which is absolutely insane. But it was a busted play, and he had all day to throw, which is nuts.
Yeah. All right, so you have to give Miami all the credit in the world, and McDaniels has taken that San Francisco offense running game that you've alluded to with Mostert and now Achan, and it is killing people.